What's up, everybody? It's your boy Damo.
It's Ego Crazy.
And this is our Kayfabe Recap of the week. Now, we're going to make it real short and sweet this week. We're going to recap everything from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Man, that's a lot of wrestling.
Got Monday Night Raw.
Man.
We got a little bit of NXT. We got Wednesday Night Dynamite. You know what that means. We got Friday Night SmackDown.
Yes, sir.
Saturday Night Collision.
So we're going to run through the shows real quick, and we're going to get right into it.
Going over the highs, what we think is the high points.
Yeah.
We're going to give you at the end our heel of the week, face of the week, and, get some thoughts in. So let's get it going.
Definitely. So we starting with Monday Night Raw. Now, this was a very eventful Raw this week. We had Sami Zayn open the show with a KO shirt on this week to show that he's really missing his best friend. Now, I personally think that Sami Zayn's going to benefit a lot from Kevin Owens going to SmackDown. He also mentioned in this promo how he wanted to be a world champion, which is something that will be really good for his career. He hasn't been a world champion since the NXT days, Black and Gold, back when Triple H ran things over there. But, of course, the Judgment Day don't like nobody opening their show except for them. They come out, interrupt, and tell Sami Zayn he's all alone. He has no help. So who comes and helps him? Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso. Now, I've been liking Jey Uso. I feel like he's getting better. I feel like that he's becoming more of a mainstay on the main event scene, and I'm not really mad at that.
Definitely.
I'm not really mad at that. But someone that is mad at that is Sami Zayn. They had another backstage segment where Sami was telling Jay, like, I'm happy for you. Your life's on the up and up, and you're the tag team champions with your friend, and, your main event, Jey Uso, and you're away from the bloodline, but you took away my best friend, and you took my tag team championships away from me. Two things that he held dear at the main event of WrestleMania with his best friend, Kevin Owens. I think there's going to be a potential heel turn with Sami Zayn. I would like it because you can't turn Jay heel again.
Possibly. That would be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a heel, besides the bloodline, which he really wasn't a heel.
Like the conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn, which was trash. But just imagine just a natural, just
an actual, you want to boo him.
Yeah, actually want to boo him. I can't wait for that. Also on Raw, we had a little bit of Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre cut a promo. So we had a little bit of them.
Great stuff.
They're showing a little tease towards Drew turning heel, and I like that, Drew's been real obsessed with the bloodline in these last couple promos. He's been talking with everybody that he doesn't forgive the bloodline for what they did and took away his world championship dreams. And he's trying to say, this is what's hindering me. And now the Judgment Day is going to hinder me because they have the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I think they may play a big part in this storyline, the way they shaping it up right now.
And that is true. Drew was the chosen one back in 2009 from Vince McMahon, on some Austin Theory shit.
Yeah.
But they fired him. He came back and completely was a different person.
Yeah, he got swole, and then he learned how to talk, and it was just a whole nother person.
The growth, and that he didn't get his title reign recognized during the pandemic, so I could really empathize with his position in this feud. So.
Yeah, and he mentioned that too, that he had to carry the company during a pandemic, which he really did do. So, here's hopeful for a good Drew heel run with the championship. It might be better with an actual live crowd versus the screams everywhere,
That's if Damian Priest doesn't get involved, maybe.
He did just win it. Well, we'll get into that point later in the show. But Rhea had a match against Shayna Baszler. It really was a nothing match. The only reason that we're highlighting this match is because Rhea Ripley had a big brawl with Zoe Stark, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez. And it's
and she wants to get control of her division. It's
chaos over there, right?
It's pretty interesting. We got Jade lurking around in the background.
Yeah. Jade's always gonna be a deciding factor whenever she decides to pop up. They've been teasing a lot on SmackDown, and she had a little tease on NXT too, saying that she's on her way. But we don't know when brand she comes to. We'll get to that when we get to NXT. Gunther and Bronson Reed had a match for the Intercontinental Championship. That was a great match.
It was a nice match, but nobody expected Bronson Reed to win. So it's just it's
another nothing feud for him. But it's cool to see Gunther getting these highlighted matches on the big big stage. He's defending his championship. I feel like every 2-3 weeks it feels like, right?
Definitely.
So he's definitely a fighting champion. His reign has been historic and it's been beautiful to watch every moment of the way. Every moment. In the main event, just to round it all off on Raw, we had the tag team championship match with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus the Judgment Day. it was a pretty good match. You know, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso put on good matches every time they hit the ring, and the Judgment Day ends up winning because the backup quarterback Jim Uso decides to come out and cost his brother the tag team championships. What do you think about that?
Uso.
Uso.
That man, like people rag on him and they say like it's illogical booking and oh, you didn't want your brother to become Roman Reigns, the next tribal chief, but now you're going to screw him again. And it's just like, but I don't know. I'm enjoying this what Jimmy is doing, man. He's on a good run here. He has to play that role because people love Jay so much. They empathize with him. He's humble, you know. He wants to do the right thing, and Jimmy has to be some type of heel. He can't be dastardly. He can't be a villain. So he has to be like kind of like a jokester, like a jerk.
Yeah, man. He's just like a jerk. Like he's becoming exactly what he didn't want his brother to be. Like,
and that's a nice little quote right there.
What's that?
He's becoming exactly what he didn't want Jay to be.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really sad to see because I personally would just like the Usos just to be just a, I think they're good as a tag team. But splitting them up, we're going to see what this main event Jey Uso stuff is doing. And we're going to see.
But we heard they wanted this. They want their one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Yeah. So I can respect it as long as it's good television. That's it.
Yeah, because we seen what happened when you put a random tag team of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the main event of WrestleMania. I was there live, and the way the crowd popped for Sami Zayn that night,
beautiful.
Maybe it's time for some new scenery in the main event division. But enough about Raw. Let's talk about Tuesday. Now, Tuesday we're going into WWE NXT. Now,
so did they keep the momentum from last week when they tried to compete with Title Tuesday?
Absolutely not. There was no real legends in the building. There was no real, this match is big. This is an NXT championship match. It was none of that. But hey, they won the ratings war. That's all that matters, right?
I mean, we'll give them that because we know they put a whole bunch of stuff on the card just for show.
Yeah.
But this week, I will say, the one thing that got me, as you get into it, is that Mello Hayes Trick.
Yeah.
Who beat Trick, who whooped Trick, who whooped him in the parking lot that got him out that fatal 4-way match. Because and then in the end, Mello ended up winning. So it's interesting developments, man.
Yeah, man. But let's talk about some of the highlights from NXT. We got Brian Pillman Jr.
Oh yeah.
He cut a vignette tonight. Not tonight. I'm sorry. On Tuesday night, and he's debuting at Halloween Havoc. That's a big deal. That's one of your AEW guys coming jumping ship along with Jade, huh? I'm gonna see if grass is green on the other side, trying to test it out, huh?
They didn't really give him that much respect over there. There's certain talents that get good usage, like Swerve or Danielson. There's some that don't really.
Let's talk about how that's what created your Christian Cage father's little thing in it. Isn't that how that all started?
Christian Cage is getting good usage over there. He's getting the best work of his life.
He is.
Hey.
He is, but that's what
we'll get to that though. Let's
that's coming up next to Wednesday. That's coming next to Wednesday.
We don't want to hurt.
So, along with that, we had Tiffany Stratton, which I think is the next superstar coming out of NXT, mocking the women's tournament. She's always good on the mic. She's overgrown NXT now. She's ready for a main roster push.
I gotta see some more Tiffany Stratton. I'm not really familiar with too much of her work. But
yeah, man, just check some of her out, man, because she takes some good promos. She has good matches. I think she's the next superstar coming out of NXT. Okay. Speaking of superstars came out of NXT, we had Becky Lynch talking to Lara about their coming up NXT championship match as well. Becky don't need to be there. That she's hindering that division. She needs to go. Like, you can't put a top star and then bring her down to NXT's level and just have her run that division, because now you put everybody on that division on notice that, hey, we don't believe in none of you. We're getting somebody from the main roster to try to carry your division.
Becky is like Brock Lesnar, and everyone's going to come up and get beat, and then finally one lady's going to win, and it's just like, is it going to have that impact that we want?
Hopefully. We're hoping so. But after that, as you touched on the Carmelo Hayes segment, Melo don't miss. And Melo, in my opinion, didn't miss his buddy Trick Williams when he beat him in the back this weekend.
Allegedly. We don't know for sure, but it looks like it.
I feel like that he definitely did that. I think a Melo's heel turn is coming because it's about time for him to have a new character. I
was thinking that.
Trick is getting over. The crowd loves him. The whoop that Trick stuff with Booker T. I don't know how that's going to translate when he leaves Booker T. Like, do you really want to hear Michael Cole saying "whoop that trick" on SmackDown.
Oh, the announcers don't have to say anything. The fans just gonna say "whoop that trick" to the beat. You know, Booker T adding his little "yeah" is just a little extra.
And see though, but that works though. You know, sometimes you need that. Like, not to bring up somebody who's a quitter.
We can have Pat McAfee do it.
Pat McAfee.
Oh my bad, Pat McAfee. We can have him do it. He could. He could. You know.
Yeah, but then but I was gonna say like everybody needs that because remember, a few years ago, your girl Mercedes Moné, what did Michael Cole used to say every time she was coming out, and you knew what he was gonna say as soon as her music hit.
I don't remember.
It's boss time. You need that. You need that.
You do need an announcer to be on, just like Tony Schiavone and it's Sting.
Like, come on now. Like, you need that. Like, it's just certain stuff that you need when you got the announcers that emphasize that. You know what I mean?
We're gonna see, but Trick Williams is definitely he's riding high, man. After he got beat down, when he returns, the fans is gonna be on.
Oh yeah,
the fans are gonna be on him. So.
Yeah, definitely. But now it's time to get into Wednesday. What you got for Dynamite?
Let's see here, man. What do we got for Dynamite? We got Penta versus Jay White opening the show, and it's a barn burner like we always know it will be. It's a pay-per-view quality match with the right build, but we got it on television. At the end, it comes down to Juice Robinson and the numbers game. Bullet Club Gold, they just terrorize this guy, and then Juice Robinson hits him with the left hand, of God. And then they get on the mic, they bring Cardblade in there.
Called the left hand of God?
Yeah, that's what he's calling it now because now he got his ring that he got from TJ Maxx. Because over the past few weeks, he's been going at MJF and calling his Dynamite Diamond ring cheap. And he's gonna win the Battle Royal and pawn it, but last week he called it the left hand of God. So
I like that.
He hit Penta with that, and then Jay White hits the Blade Runner, which is the Sister Abigail. Nice, and we get the 1, 2, 3 here. Both of them get on the mic, talk some trash. They say MJF is a coward. Where is he at? Even though we got Jay White Switchblade holding the belt, and he's like, I'm a true champion. I'm out here. Where's MJF? MJF is nowhere to be seen. But hey, we got a nice segment. They talk their trash and they move along. After the bout, we go to the back and we see MJF talking to Renee, and then he's like, of course, I'm not gonna go out there. I'm not a dumb good guy. And I laughed. Like out loud, that was funny
because it is a basic babyface tactic to run out and get beat up by everybody.
Right, even though he's portraying a babyface, this guy is heel through and through, and he still could be the narcissistic, scumbag that he is, but the fans love him. I don't know, he's undeniable right now. He talked shit. He said he's gonna if that guy Juice Robinson comes and challenges him for the ring, he's gonna beat the holy hell out of him, and that's what we're looking forward to, man. On the way to Full Gear, we're looking for a nice blood feud type of spillover on the road there. What do we got here? We got backstage rated R rebuttal from Adam Copeland. He's basically downplaying the whole thing. He's like, I don't get it. I don't get why Christian Cage doesn't want to team with me, and he'll come along soon when Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne basically disown him and call DCFS or whatever. Like, basically.
So is that something he actually said was called DCFS?
No, I just threw it in there. He says once they drop him, he'll be there to pick him up, and there's no hard feelings basically because he knows Christian Cage is Christian Cage. And then Renee kind of hinted like, well, if you're not going after the TNT title, if you're not going after Christian, what are you doing? And he said, well, I don't know. So we'll see, I guess.
He's kind of in like a limbo,
Yeah, well, we'll see where he ends up going. He's going to still interweave himself with Christian Cage, but I guess for now, he's just like, hey, I don't want your hey, I'm here for you, Christian. He's being the good guy until Christian pushes him to be more of a rated R superstar.
To be a heel. I love it.
And that who's to say that wouldn't be nice if we get a heel tag team between the two? Fuck Christian Cage joining Adam Copeland. What if Adam Copeland joins Christian Cage?
And then, so what's the tag team gonna be? The dads?
Something.
The fathers?
I don't even know.
The fathers of the tag team division. That's gonna be a little shtick.
Fathers of the year, something. ANC. But from there, we go to the women's championship match. We're not going to go into it, but Shida beat her mentor here, Emi Sakura, and it was a nice match, but it was a nothing match. Like, it didn't go anywhere. It doesn't lead to anything. Hopefully, we can get that title on somebody who represents some story moving forward. Maybe Mercedes Moné comes up at full gear. We got a pay-per-view coming up. Maybe we'll get a return here for the women's division. Maybe we'll get something relevant. Mercedes Moné.
Not Mercedes Moné, dude.
Let's move along here. We got Wardlow coming out with another squash. This is like the third week in a row. He comes out and he power bombs the shit out of this dude, this nameless victim, one time. And then the ref stops the match. So they're really just emphasizing that Wardlow, things are different this time around. After he lost his TNT title for the third time, he's going to be presented as a real guy.
So I wonder what his story is going to be.
Well, right now, Tony Schiavone got into the ring, and he said, "What's up with you? You know, we see that you're back. What's going on?" And he doesn't say anything. He just puts his wrist up and he says, and then we see the letters MJF. So while we got Samoa Joe coming for MJF, and we got Jay White and Bullet Club Gold coming for MJF, and now we got Wardlow. But is he coming for MJF or is he coming to help MJF? We don't know.
I think he's coming for that belt because, like, what else is he gonna do? Like, everybody should be eyeing for that world championship.
Maybe that's the obvious thing, but then again, we don't know because he's coming back kind of heelish. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
I mean, that's perfect because MJF is a face.
Maybe I'm still thinking like, man, what if he joins?
Like, you know how they do booking over here? He'll probably have one match with MJF and then just never see him again.
Probably so. We never know. But here's hoping. Let's move on to the next match here. We got a Don Callis family segment in which Don Callis comes out with Will Hobbs and Tenosuke Takeshita. Excuse me. We got Hobbs giving his backstory, his repackaging basically. He's frustrated with Chris Jericho. And he has all this pent-up aggression and rage because when he was 7 years old and Chris Jericho was being Y2J 25 years ago, he told his grandma, "Shut up, old bitch, and sit your ass down, Will Hobbs." And then he kept this rage in him for 25 years. And he had to beat the shit out of Chris Jericho last week. So basically that was that. And then Don Callis got on the mic. He said, "This is just the beginning. We're fucking everybody up. And if it weren't for Kyle Fletcher of Aussie Open last week, we would have got the job done against Kenny Omega and Jericho." But freaking, he called him a failure. Kyle Fletcher came out to try to prove himself and say, "Hey, I may have fucked up, but you give me one shot tonight and I'll get the job done." Which leads us to the next bout, Kenny Omega and Kyle Fletcher, and it was a good match, man. But it's like we knew that Fletcher wasn't gonna get the W. And after the match, it was a hard hitting affair. I'm impressed by Fletcher, but he has a ways to go. Maybe a little more character work. Yeah. But after the match, Don Callis rags on him some more. He calls him a failure yet again, and that's that. We get a little bit more momentum for Kenny Omega going into whatever else he has going up for the Don Callis family. So after that, we get Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer. He comes out for another squash. We haven't seen him in like 6 months, but he looks damn good, and he comes there for just random shit. Please keep him off the TV unless he's there for something relevant. But I like it though. I like seeing him.
Hey man, I ain't gonna keep talking about your show, man. I'm just saying that's a very common theme on AEW.
Man. I'm not biased. I'll recognize when they just put up some baloney or when they just putting up TV to fill time. It's a lot of matches that's just like, why?
Just like, this person is 15-2 versus this guy that's fucking 3-7, and they're having a match, and then the match ends and it's another segment that had nothing to do with that match.
A bunch of bull, man. A bunch of baloney. But, I guess they had to throw in a little bit of filler, a little bit of monster squashing. Because after that, we got Sting bringing us down. Comes out being all sentimental and going over the times and talking about Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and why did the boys go on for as long as they did. It's the camaraderie. It's the fun nights. It's just wanting to do it every day. And then he's like, well, now we got to talk about the word. He said retirement is always. I remember I retired in 2015. What was he referencing? WWE, and when he got injured to Seth Rollins.
Yep.
So he didn't go out the way he wanted to. He came back in 2020 to get him another run. He signed a 3-year contract, and now he says, look, I'm done, guys. Revolution 2024. That's it. Basically, this is my last 3 months. Are you here for the ride? Sting, we've been appreciating this work, man. Basically. So.
The Stinger, man.
Hey, I like what he had to present there. And I would be lying if I didn't say, I felt a little bit.
You said you felt a little bit about Sting retiring. You know what's funny about that? Is that with Sting, always put him and Undertaker in the same category. That both of them are legends of the childhood memories. Like you remember them too. Mm-hmm. And it's a real shame we never got to see them two face each other at a decent age. Like we don't count anything else. Like we never got to see them at a real prime age.
That's one of those for your WWE 2K24.
Yeah, so. To have that match.
But yeah, man, we finish off the night with a Jim Ross sit-down interview with Nick Wayne and Miss Wayne. And it was a cinema. It was a movie moment, man. Nick Wayne he's growing on me, man. I was always high on him since he first came in. He's good technically in the ring, and he's just a teenager. He's an angsty teen who's just like, damn Daniel or some shit. He's just, I don't know.
He's just a pop culture reference.
Culture reference. He got that Justin Bieber hairdo or whatever. But this heel turn was the best thing for him. He's in an interview with Jim Ross and Miss Wayne, and he's talking like Darby Allin. He's overshadowing me, and everybody's always thanking him and talking about for bringing me in. This is my chance now, and Christian Cage is the real father figure that I should have had. And I'm like, damn, the character work that he's giving off right now. Like, even though we know it's all bullshit, and Miss Wayne is over there like, oh, how could you? And wada wada woo. It's pretty nice, man. I like it. And then Christian comes in, puts his hand on Nick Wayne's shoulder like, you ready to come home, son? And then they leave. And then Miss Wayne slaps Nick. And then he said, you're dead to me. They walk off. And then you hear behind the door as they leave, you hear Darby Allin beating the shit out of him. And Darby chips one of Nick's tooth or something, beats his ass to the arena. And then once they're out there, you got basically Sting coming to help out, and then they retreat up the ramp, but you just see that lasting image of his tooth gone, and it's a nice little image to close the show.
I agree.
So let's move on. What we got next?
Friday Night SmackDown.
Cap it off.
So Friday night, we start the show with Cena, right? John Cena. Now you touched on the retirement with Sting.
Cena teased us.
Not the GOAT talking about retirement, but we all know that the GOAT's not ready to hang it up yet. John Cena still got another about 3-4 more years of doing this shit. But Cena hints about retirement. We all knew he wasn't really going to do it. He said the next sorry some bitch that walk from behind that curtain is getting their ass kicked. And who's the people that come out and go handle John Cena? The Bloodline. The people he's facing at Crown Jewel. And who comes to help John Cena? Jey Uso paying payback to his brother Hemi Uso by costing him his tag team championships, and it was nice to see that. And then we go backstage and we get the tease that, thank you, Lord. So they're finally teasing Raw versus SmackDown. You got Adam Pearce back there talking to the SmackDown GM, talking about finding Jey Uso. Well, he's like, hey, if you're going to find Jey, then you got to find Jimmy. Well, you know what, since you said that, escort Jey out the building. So then he's like, hold on, man, you ain't got to do that. I'm right here. I'll walk him out. You know what? Matter of fact, escort both these bitches out the building. And then it's a little subtle tease.
And that was weak. He just took off the glasses like, you could get me out of this building?
On me, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I loved it.
We're getting tension, Raw and SmackDown.
Finally. I missed those Raw versus SmackDown. I hope it's the champion versus champion, not just, just some random shit. I want to see the actual, Seth versus Roman. Imagine that. Holy shit.
Because now it's not just GM versus GM. They're interweaving. Jay wants to get revenge on Jimmy because he cost him the title. So he's just running to another nigga's show. And look, And then now the GMs are like, look, you're making my show look bad. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Like, I like the animosity here and them interweaving it coherently into a storyline.
I love it. But let's jump into some more key points. Another key point that I really loved on this show was L.A. Knight. Yeah, and
Always.
Paul Heyman's promo. He's still white hot. L.A. Knight can do no wrong right now. He is literally the hottest act in all of wrestling. The crowd loves him. Everybody is just drawn to the energy that he brings. But they had a good back and forth discussing the Roman Reigns contract signing next week for Crown Jewel. Obviously, we all know that Roman Reigns is going to beat LA Knight, but at least LA is going to finally get a shot at the championship. It's going to be a nice match.
I don't like that, man. It's like, where does he go from there? But
I mean, he said it already that, like, okay, if, say he lose, he's just going to come back. Like, Roman can't hold this belt forever. Like, LA Knight's going to be a world champion in the next 2 years.
Definitely. I guess he could take a loss. He
take a loss. And then we had a little silly, pretty diddly promo with the Brawl and Bruce. It was really nothing, it was really nothing, but it was nice little, funny little character acting for them. We had Montez Ford showing his worth to the Hurt Business by defeating Santos Escobar, and they was beating the shit out of him.
Nice heelish tactics.
They were beating the shit out of him, bro. Like Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins really showed some heel heat tonight, and Ford won with a pulling of the tights roll up. So that was nice to see him actually do something heelish for once.
We need to see some. I need some more. I need them to get rated like
vicious.
Y'all want to beat your ass.
Like vicious, yeah. Then we had Carlito coming to make the save, which is nice to see. Carlito is actually going to be like a mainstay player on a weekly basis. I'm glad he's not just gonna just show up for a pay per view. He's actually there just the second week in a row.
Carlito finna get involved too. It's finna get personal between the blacks and Mexicans.
All right, now we're not gonna do no racist stuff.
WWE.
Stop it. So we had Kevin Owens talking about SmackDown's his show. Kevin Owens, was introduced as a SmackDown newest star last week, and he proved that he wants to take over SmackDown. I'm glad to see it. KO and Roman Reigns have history too. There's a lot of matches we can see with them again because they had a nice heavy feud towards the beginning of the Tribal Chief era before really the Usos got super involved. So it's nice to see them might be able to revisit that again too.
But would we want that? Would we want to just see Kevin Owens be face again, or would we want him to be?
You want to be a heel again? Against who? He just got done being a heel. He just got done being a heel. Like, when he started doing the stunner, it was when he became a face. Well, actually, no, the stunner was against Stone Cold. No,
yeah, he's been face for like 3-4 years.
That's fine. He's been doing fine as a face, man. You don't like to turn up Kevin Owens, I'm going to get really mad, and I'm tired of talking, and I'm going to beat you up. Why not?
A little bit more. Just a few more months.
Just a few more months of that, and I'm cool with that. And then the last big talk, well, actually 2 more big talking points I want to talk about is Logan Paul's coming for the U.S. Championship against Rey Mysterio. I feel like Logan Paul's going to get that belt off of him because Logan Paul is a better star than Rey Mysterio. I feel like Rey Mysterio's towards the edge of his career, and he needs somebody to take that belt off him because he's not doing anything with it. So at least with Logan Paul having the belt, that's what LA Knight can go after next because remember they had tension going into Money in the Bank. So when LA Knight loses to Roman, he's going to look at Logan Paul like, hey, I'm the mega star, and then Logan Paul like, well, I got the belt, what's up? And then they'll have a match at maybe WrestleMania, maybe?
Maybe, only if it makes sense, because I was thinking with the belt was going to be something with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Yeah, I thought it was going to be, but if they're not doing like a LWO breakout type of thing.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Santos isn't over enough. Rey isn't giving him the right Legends rub that he's looking for. Like, it's not working. Like, yeah, he's going to turn heel eventually, but right now the belt doesn't need to be involved in that because
they could always drop the belt to Logan Paul. They can still continue their conflicts through the week, and then they can reference it back like, you never wanted to see me be champion. And then they can start it off like that,
Yeah, see, like,
they don't need the belt for the feud.
See, like, I'm better with that than just having, the LWO just hold a U.S. championship belt, just holding it hostage in their little faction. Because it's not interesting. It's not good television to me.
We're going to see. It's definitely interesting.
Then also the other main talk point I want to talk about was the Charlotte Flair match at the end against Io Sky for the women's championship. Now we all knew Io's not losing for a minute. She's gonna hold that belt. Like, even though she's trash on the mic, still no tension and damage control. So it looks like she's gonna be holding this belt for a minute. The main takeaway point from this match tonight: the return of Bianca Belair. Like, she's back and still a face. Even after getting screwed out of her women's championship, she's still just a face.
My takeaway from tonight, man, don't hate me, guys. But my takeaway is who the fuck is gonna get the belt? Because Io hasn't been doing shit.
Yeah.
I don't want Bianca to come back and get the belt.
Jade.
I don't want Charlotte to get the belt. Jade is on Raw.
Jade might not be on Raw.
I think she got confirmed on Raw.
I don't know. She's been on every show the last couple weeks. She's been on every show.
But she got confirmed. I could have sworn I seen an article. Even though they've been presenting her everywhere on some Dominic Mysterio shit. But I think she's on Raw.
I mean, Dominic's the NXT champion. Or our North American champion. He's
means
on Raw.
He should be only on Raw and NXT. He'd be on every show.
Yeah, every show, every week.
But that women's division on SmackDown, pretty bad, man. Until we need some work over there. But moving on, man, to Saturday Night Collision, the end of the week. Let me go through this real fast. We got Bryan Danielson versus Andrade. This is a nice match, man. Again, I say a pay-per-view level match. If it had the right build and the right heat, they just were beating the shit out of each other, and it was nice. Like Andrade, I've always been high on Andrade. I've always been high on Bryan Danielson. The story of this match is after the match, you know, Bryan gets a pin roll-up sequence victory, and he extends his hand, and Andrade shakes it reluctantly, but you know they're both faces. The story is after the match, Bryan Danielson is being targeted by Malachi Black and the House of Black. So that's interesting. We got some goddamn combustible elements there with House of Black versus Blackpool Combat Club, because we know who's in there. But moving on, man, we'll get to that later. We got Sky Blue coming out, and she basically gets a squash match against Hollywood Hogan.
Hollywood Hogan's that her name?
Some wench.
Terrible.
But it wasn't a squash match because it was a little lengthy, but basically a squash match with the amount of offense. They got Sky Blue kind of going heelish with her tendencies, and she's coming out with the mist on her eyes. Maybe Julia Hart's getting a little mini House of Black faction going.
With Sky Blue, because she hasn't been doing anything.
And Willow Nightingale, because that's Sky Blue's friend. So that'll be weird. If they turn Willow Nightingale heel, I don't know if I'd agree with that one.
Why not?
Because she's such an over face. The theme music, the way she comes out, and then everybody get the clapping.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It'll be a little iffy for me. Next up, we got the Guns coming out. They're getting a good match against
the Ass Boys.
The Guns coming
Ass
out,
Boys.
Getting a good win against two 1980s fellows. I forget their names. I don't know, but they look like Hogan and Macho Man-esque. Beat the shit out of them. Jay White gets on the mic again, talks some more shit. He tells them like, "This is guaranteed for you, Max. I'm gonna win at Full Gear, and then I'm gonna be really the real champion." And then we see on the Titantron, we see the Black Mask, the Black Devil mask again. So we don't know. You know, we didn't see MJF on Collision. So was that him, or was that Adam Cole, or was that Roderick Strong? Who was it? We don't know. Next up, we got a Memphis street fight from Eddie Kingston and Jeff Jarrett. I don't know where the fuck this came from. Must have been some Rampage shit that I didn't watch. I'm going to catch up. But Eddie Kingston lost this because the whole Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and fucking Sanjay Dutt, whatever the hell. All four of them had to beat the shit out of Kingston for him to take a L. And it was a nothing match, but what comes after, the promo that Eddie Kingston gave, is why we're all so high on Eddie Kingston. We'll get to that later, though. Next up, we got Miro versus Action Andretti, and Miro made a promise to destroy anybody that his hot and flexible wife wants to represent, and it turns out that she, Action Andretti whispered something to her, so I guess he thinks CJ Perry is going to be representing him. So tonight we got Miro, which should have been a squash match, but Action Andretti always gets offense. I don't know how he does it, but he makes it looks believable. Action is good, but he makes the heel always look strong. So Miro looked good.
I'm very happy that Miro's getting the attention he deserves though over there. I'll say that.
Definitely. So we're gonna see where this goes. They finally brought his wife to television. We're gonna see what that entails.
Hot and flexible wife, though. That's fucking hilarious.
That's what shows up on the Titantron. Hot and flexible. I'm like, what?
Wow.
But after that, we got Starks and Big Bill versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. And before we get to that, let me reference that Eddie Kingston promo. That he was just, I guess he's been getting into it with Jay Lethal, and that's gonna be a nice match. You know about Jay Lethal, dude. Freaking he said a whole bunch of shit. He's gonna beat the hell out of him. He said, I'm gonna have to beat you in front of your father and your beautiful mother, and she's gonna cry for you, but not because I'm beating you, because she knows you deserve it. I'm just like, Kingston is a master of words, dude. But I just had to throw that out there real quick. That's worth mentioning.
Definitely.
Then we got, at the end here, we got, Starks and Big Bill versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. They got them a tag team championship match. Ricky Starks and Big Bill keep on pulling it out just out of nowhere. Just balls. They keep on pulling out the victory. And believable finishes. I don't know what else to say. After the match, they try to get the beat down on them because they won. Bryan Danielson comes out to help and even the odds, of course. But after that, before that, I'm tweaking. The House of Black comes out and beats the shit out of them. And then everyone comes out one by one, evening the odds. FTR, Bryan Danielson, but then the guy we haven't seen in about a month and a half, Jon Moxley. Wild thing! He comes back and he gets to just brawling, and we just, like you said, a whole bunch of factions, man. But that's why we love AEW. And then they go off the air with Ricky Starks getting Claudio Cesaro swung for about 2 minutes straight. Going off the air. So the main takeaway, we got House of Black and BCC, man.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's get into it, man. With heel of the week, face of the week. What you think?
Well, I'm going to start with my face of the week. And it should be very, very clear who it's supposed to be. And that's the most white hot person in all of wrestling. And that's L.A. Knight. Yeah. Because ain't nobody in the business as hot as him right now. For the heel of the week, I want to say Dominic, because Dominic's on every show and he gets the most boos, even though they say it's piped in. I don't think that's piped in boos. But I'm going to have to go with Christian Cage, your boy in AEW. Christian Cage has been putting on the best work of his career in this last couple weeks I've been watching him. He can't miss right now. He's out there. The father stick is working with Adam Copeland coming back and being such a big part of his history and him picking at him. I don't know, man.
He's getting good heat, man. I love it. I'm going to have to piggyback off that. He's my heel of the week, too. As far as week to week, his dastardly deeds. I was going to say Jay White.
That's a good one, too.
But all he did was take the championship and talk a little bit of shit, Christian Cage has been talking shit. He took Miss Wayne's son and made him his own son.
They said, are you ready to go home now, son? Come on, man. I don't know.
I don't know what else to say. As far as babyface of the week, I guess as far as relevance, LA Knight, because I would say Cody's in contention, but Cody didn't really do shit this week.
Yeah, he didn't do too much this week. He actually lost his championship this week.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
So, I'd have to agree. LA Knight. LA Knight's hot. He's getting the exposure. He's getting the spotlight. They're doing right by him. I don't agree with them maybe losing, but I guess you're right, because only out of the loss he's going to come back with a more vengeful storyline. He's going to come back trying to get even. So it's going to be a fuck finish.
Yeah, definitely.
So there it goes, guys. We got it for you all there. Monday through Saturday, we got the Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision.
It's a lot of it's a lot of wrestling to catch up throughout the week, and we're here to help you kind of skim through the stuff you want to see and skip the stuff you don't want to see.
In case you didn't, catch up on everything, get you up before tonight's Monday Night Raw,
Yeah. And on Raw tonight, I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight. Hopefully it's a good one, and this time next week we can talk about that for it air.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. Comment, get in the conversation with us, man. Let us know your heel of the week, face of the week, man.
For sure. And follow us on Twitter as well. We got our Twitter up and running, and we always have polls and conversations on Twitter.
All right, now.
See y'all.